Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rakshamam. Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Pahimam. Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rakshamam. Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Pahimam. Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rakshamam. Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Pahimam. Nama Om Vishnupadaya, Krishna Preshaya Bhutale, Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane. Nama Vishnu Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine. Namaste Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasa Adigor Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Sri Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasa. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you for chanting so nicely. Whoops. I applaud you. Your response indicates to me that you are on a very nice level of Krishna consciousness, because you can judge the spiritual fever by how nice the chanting is. Good volume, good emotion. So I'm very, very happy to be back home once again here in New Dwarka. And what is your name that you played the mridanga? What's your name? You played perfectly. Please, let's encourage him. Number one, you played tastefully, following the tune. Number two, you played authentically. I was like back in 1973. So I don't know where you're from, but you should be part of this movement. Please, I think Krishna has sent you. And don't change and stay as you are. Your mridanga, perfect. All right, let's invoke auspiciousness. Please repeat. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Bolo. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Very strong. It's a good sign. Very strong. So tomorrow is what is known as Guru Purnima. And we remember, of course, our founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Without him, none of this would be. But primarily we remember Srila Vyasadeva. Our whole philosophy, what do you want to call it? Hindu philosophy or Vedic philosophy, it all stems from the teachings of Vyasadeva. So I'm going to present some nice statements. So the lecture is entitled Vyasa Mahatmyam, Glorification of Sri Vyasa. So we've already offered our obeisances to Prabhupada. We invoked Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so we should be good to go. But as I've been doing for so many years, before speaking my two special mantras, besides Hare Krishna, but my two favorite mantras, Trinadapi Sunichena Tarar Iva Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari. That mantra has saved my life, both in terms of my marriage, in terms of my devotee life, and just that mantra, it is like what I fully base my whole worldview on. To be meek and humble, to try to be as tolerant as I can, to offer all respects to others, and not to expect any glorification or praise. No, just be fixed. And Lord Chaitanya says if you can have that mentality, then chanting is easy. Otherwise, chanting is a struggle. Hare Krishna. But if you have that mentality taught by Lord Chaitanya, easy. And then, of course, our whole philosophy is based on Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Eva Kevalam, Kalo Nastyeva Nastyeva, Nastyeva Gatir Anyata. 3 times, just to get it through our thick skulls. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama. Because it says in the Vedas that when something is important, it's mentioned 3 times. As I've said so many times with my wife, she has to tell me 108 times. I'm a slow learner. So the Vedas stress the holy name, the holy name, the holy name of, everybody say, Hari. Oh, we are really, I think summer is doing good for us. We're in a good mood. And then 3 times, Nastieva, Nastieva, Nastieva. No other way, no other way, no other way. In this age, the age of Kali. So let's chant the Maha Mantra. Everybody, please. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Very nice, very nice. So I hope that you become enthused, enlivened by my presentation. So first is a line from the Narayan Kavacha prayers, which we find in the 6th canto, 1 line. I think you can, this is the advanced class, so I think you can repeat. Dvaipayano Bhagavan Aprabodhad. Very good. The meaning is, may the personality of Godhead in his incarnation as Vyasadeva protect me from all kinds of ignorance resulting from the absence of Vedic knowledge. So I chose this as a way to invoke auspiciousness because, yes, without Vyasadeva, we would not have this sublime knowledge. My next drop of nectar, so to speak, is from Shukadeva Goswami in the 2nd canto of the Bhagavatam. He has begun his instructions answering the questions of the Parikshit Maharaj, who is going to die within 7 days. And so at a certain point, Shukadeva actually asks Krishna to empower him so that he can proceed with this recitation. So one of his offerings was this prayer. Let's see how we do. Please repeat. Namastasmai Bhagavate. Wait. Vasudevaya Vedhase. Papur Jnanam Ayang Saumya. Now, okay, it's a little, now this one's hard. Okay, we should break it up. Yan Mukha Ambruhasavam. Very nice, class, very nice. Shukadeva Goswami prays, I offer my respectful obeisances unto Srila Vyasadeva, the incarnation of Vasudeva. Everybody say? Vasudeva. So Vasudeva is Krishna, yes. Who compiled the Vedic scriptures. The pure devotees drink up the pure nectar, transcendental knowledge, dropping from the lotus-like mouth of the Lord. Pure devotees drink up. So how do we drink up? Through our ears. In the 3rd verse of Bhagavatam, pibata, that word is used, pibata, you drink. But this Vedic knowledge you don't drink like we're going to have nice prasad. Maybe there's sweet rice or some nectar. That you drink in your, but this drinking, Vedic knowledge is through the ear. And in the statement of Lord Kapila, Ritkarna Rasayana Kata, this nectar of Bhagavatam is very, very pleasing to the ear and to the heart. So the idea is by attending a lecture like this, this is also kirtan. We just had kirtan with the drum. Everybody was chanting and dancing, roaring Hare Krishna. But this is also kirtan, because kirtan, especially Sankirtan, means complete. So kirtan, some kirtan to describe, to glorify, to describe, to sing, to chant, all these fall under the category of kirtan. All right, now we go Bhagavad Gita. A couple of weeks ago, I was giving a lecture in a different temple, and I said at some point, yes, I think it is accepted that Bhagavad Gita can be called the Bible of India. And Prabhupada says like that, and that's pretty much generally accepted. But after the class, one Gujarati man goes very angry. I was going to chastise you in front of... I said, what did I do? Bhagavad Gita is not the Bible of India. It's the Bible of the universe. So I said, yes, Prabhu. Yes. You got to be careful what you say, because you don't know when it's going to be in your face. So this verse, please repeat from Krishna's lotus mouth. Vedaischa sarvair aham eva vedyo. Okay, I better break it up. Vedanta krid, Veda vid, eva chaham. So here, this two lines, by all the Vedas, it is Krishna to be known. Indeed, Krishna is the compiler of Vedanta, and Krishna is the knower of the Vedas. So when, and this is spoken by Krishna in Gita to Arjuna, so when he says Krishna is the compiler of Vedanta, that's referring to Krishna's incarnation as Vyasadeva, because that was his masterpiece, stream scholarly work, the Vedanta Sutra or Brahma Sutras or Vyasa Sutras. So he is the compiler of Vedanta. Where does knowledge end? Veda, Anta. Where does knowledge end? Not that it just keeps going on and with no conclusion. There has to be a conclusion to the knowledge. Next drop of nectar, we'll do a ding after each one, following my GBC's instruction. I have to bring this bell wherever I go. This verse appears very early in the Bhagavatam as Sutta Goswami begins to answer the questions of the sages of Naimisharanya. This verse appears. Please repeat. Narayanam namaskritya. Narang chaiva narottamam. Deving sarasvating vyasam. Tato jayam udirayet. All right, you got three pretty good, but the last one, I don't know, you pooped out. So, hang in there. All right. So, Sutta Goswami says, before reciting Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, meaning how to get out of Maya, how to get really woke. I gave a lecture on that. The original woke philosophy is the Vedas. I hate to tell you, Ron DeSantis. We follow the, anyway, I'm not going there. Okay, let's get back. I already gave that lecture twice. All right, so it's the very means of conquest. One should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead, Narayana. Come on. This is a class. I'm the teacher. You're the student, so you have to participate. Obeisances unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. So we did that. Then, when Sutta Goswami gives a quick list of Krishna's avatars, a very condensed list, 20 or so different avatars, he mentions Tatak Saptadashe Jata Satyavatyang Parasharat Chakre Veda Taro Shakha Drisva Pungsa Ulpamedasa. Thereafter, in the 17th incarnation, Vyasadeva appeared in the womb of Satyavati through Parashara Muni, and Vyas divided the one Veda into several branches and sub-branches, seeing that the people in general were less intelligent. So Vyasadeva did that early in the Kali Yuga, and this is all described in the Srimad Bhagavatam. But that's important. Vyasadeva did that to make it accessible, to make it easy. Just like Prabhupada, when he translated his books, his idea was to make this Vedic knowledge accessible to all classes of people. Hindu, non-Hindu, cultured, So when Prabhupada wrote his books, he even mentioned he had to really craft his Bhaktivedanta purports in such a way that it would be able to be appreciated by all classes. That's an art by itself. I have to do the same thing. When I go to different venues, different temples, different venues, I have to quickly surmise, okay, what kind of audience do I have? I see we got. So I have to make calculations, okay, because it's not one size fits all, except for Krishna is God. Okay, but how to administer this nectar or medicine, that's the art of preaching. Okay, so next, one of the questions Sutta Goswami was asked, where will people go for shelter now that Krishna has left the planet 5,000 years ago? The sages of Naimisharanya were performing a sacrifice for 1,000 years for us, the people of Kali Yuga. And so one of the questions Sutta was asked, now that Krishna has gone, where are people going to go for shelter? So here is the answer. Let's try it again. Stay with me now. Idang Bhagavatang Nama. There are 6 lines, not 4, so stay with me. Puranang Brahma Samitam. Uttama Shloka Charitang. Chakara Bhagavan Rishi. Now that's the key line. Let's do that again. Chakara Bhagavan Rishi. Nisreyasaya Lokasya. Dhanyang Svasti Ayanang Mahat. Okay, not bad. Archita, you're really good. Oh yes, thank you. That's why they're not. They need their encouragement. Yes, I agree. Okay. This Srimad Bhagavatam is the literary incarnation of God. So these books, Gita, Bhagavatam, they're not ordinary books. Incarnation of God. And it is compiled by Srila Vyasadeva, the incarnation of God. Bhagavatam is meant for the ultimate good of all people. And it is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. So how many here have Srimad Bhagavatam? Very good. So now you know in your home, God is present there in that book form, literary incarnation of God. So Chakara Bhagavan, so Vyasadeva, there are many names. Bhagavan Rishi, he's God in the form of a Rishi, saintly person. Let's do some more. So here, in the first canto, is a quick summary of Vyasadev's life, a brief summary. When the second millennium overlapped the third, the great sage Vyasadeva was born to Parashara Muni in the womb of Satyavati, the daughter of Vasu. Once upon a time, Vyasadeva, as the sun rose, took his morning ablution in the waters of the Sarasvati and sat alone to concentrate. The great sage Vyasadeva saw anomalies in the duties of the millennium, and this happens on the earth in different ages due to unseen forces in the course of time. The great sage, who was fully equipped in knowledge, could see through his transcendental vision the deterioration of everything material due to the influence of this age of Kali. Vyasadeva could also see that the faithless people in general would be reduced in their duration of life and would be impatient due to a lack of goodness. I like that line. So when I find myself feeling impatient, I remember it's because I'm not acting in the mode of goodness. So it's something to think about. Thus Vyasadeva contemplated for the welfare of all men in all statuses and orders of life. So this is the symptom of a saintly person. A real saintly person is just not interested in their own self-realization. No. The true mark of a saintly person is they're concerned not only for themselves, but for others. Like Prahlad Maharaj. One of Prahlad's prayers to Lord Nisringa, that he was lamenting, as for myself, I have no anxieties, because as soon as I hear and chant about you, Lord, I'm happy. But I'm concerned about all the others who are not your devotees. And I'm thinking of so many ways to deliver them. That was also Prabhupada's mood. Why did Prabhupada come to America? Because he could see this beautiful, wonderful knowledge of Krishna consciousness, Vedic knowledge, needed to be brought outside of India, need to be distributed all over the world. So we owe Prabhupada everything. He did that. He left Vrindavan on the order of his spiritual master at the age, on the verge of his 70th birthday. That's another, on the verge of his 70th birthday, just to bring us this nectar of Krishna consciousness. Vyasadeva saw that the sacrifices mentioned in the Vedas were means by which people's occupations could be purified. So to simplify the process, Vyasadeva took the one Veda and divided it into 4 in order to expand them among men. So Vyasadeva again did that for our benefit. The 4 divisions of the Vedas, which are the original source of knowledge, were made separately, but the historical facts and authentic stories mentioned in the Puranas are called the 5th Veda. And Prabhupada mentions Ramayana is also considered one of those 5th Vedas. Anyone who has read Ramayana knows there's so much transcendental knowledge and so much to learn from the Ramayana. So it's called the 5th Veda. Thus the great sage Vyas, who is very kind to the ignorant masses, edited the Vedas so that they may be assimilated by the less intellectual. Out of compassion, the great sage thought it wise that this would enable humanity to achieve the ultimate goal of life. Now, this ultimate goal of life is different for different classes of people. If you ask most, non-devotees, they will say the goal of life, eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow I die. Let me just enjoy more money, more sense gratification, more. But if somebody is in a classification as transcendentalist, for them the ultimate goal might be becoming one with God, or realizing God in the heart. But for you, for us who are devotees, bhaktas, our ultimate goal, according to Lord Chaitanya, love of God. And Lord Chaitanya teaches love of God. There is no greater wealth. That's the ultimate wealth. When you have love of God, you don't need anything. Out of compassion, Vyasadeva compiled a historical narration called the Mahabharata. And that is very well known in India and those in Indian culture. You grow up on the stories of Ramayana, Mahabharata. So in the Mahabharata, the most important section, Bhagavad Gita. There are other statements in the Bhagavatam where it is mentioned. The whole purpose of this Mahabharata is to get people to come to the point of accepting Bhagavad Gita. Which, how many here have accepted Bhagavad Gita? Yes. If your hand's not raised, then we got to find out what's wrong. Because yes, Bhagavad Gita is the foundation. Prabhupada preached on Bhagavad Gita. And all our philosophy, that's like the foundation. And Bhagavatam is a elaboration on the same teachings. So Sutta Goswami is telling the sages, and then he says, but, O twice-born Brahmins, still Vyasadeva's mind was not satisfied, even though he was engaged in working for the welfare of others. So just think, he's woken up this morning, he's doing his sadhana or morning spiritual practices, but his mind is not right. We've all gone through that. Someday you wake up and something's just not right. You can just sense it. Your mind is not calm. So that's Vyasadeva's position at this time. His mind is disturbed. Thus, being dissatisfied at heart, Vyasadeva began to reflect. Yes. Self-reflection is a very important item. Take inventory of yourself in your material life, but especially in your spiritual life. Always do a self-inventory so that things are resolved and you know that you're on the right. You don't want to get into automatic pilot. No. Reflection means, okay, I'm okay now, but how can I do better? How can I improve? That's called self-reflection. Where did I go wrong? So here's what Vyasadeva was thinking on this morning. I have, under strict disciplinary vows, unpretentiously worshipped the Vedas, my spiritual master, and the altar of sacrifice. I have also abided by the rulings, and I have shown the import of disciplic succession through the explanation of Mahabharata, by which even less intelligent persons can see the path of religion. But I am feeling incomplete, although I myself am fully equipped with everything required by the Vedas, because he's an incarnation. And Vyasadeva can see past, present, and future. Wouldn't you love to have that ability? Oh man, you would strike it rich on the stock market, wouldn't you? Right? So he has this, what is called Trikalagya. He can see past, present, and future. So he knows I'm an incarnation. I have everything at my disposal, but what's bugging me? What's wrong? But the next line proves that he's an incarnation. This may be because I did not specifically point out devotional service of Krishna, which is dear both to the perfect and the infallible Lord himself. So he pretty much self-diagnosed his own dilemma. In other words, he had compiled the 4 Vedas. He had composed 108 Upanishads. He had done the Mahabharata, and he had done his PhD thesis in the Vedanta Sutra. So after all of this literary work, on this day, something's missing. And he pretty much knows what it is. And just at that moment, his spiritual master arrives. And this is instructive because Prabhupada also mentions this. As soon as there is a doubt in one's spiritual life, you immediately approach your spiritual master. So Narada comes, and Vyasadeva, and the classic line is, Gurudev, yes, even an incarnation of God has a guru. Right? That's important. Even God, when he comes, accepts a guru. So what to speak of us? So Narada says, so my dear disciple, what is the problem? And Vyasadeva says, I want you to find out the root cause of what's bothering me in my heart. That's interesting, the root cause. It's like, now that I'm old, I have to go see the doctor so many times, and this issue arises, so I always try to find out from the doctor, okay, what's the real thing here? What's going on? What do I got to do? Like just a couple of days ago, for the past couple of years, I had to go see one hematologist. And in my network, I got this Jain doctor, Dr. Multani. And of course, we hit it off right away. We were talking, so, he would come and check me out, and we talk about India, and we talk about Krishna, and we talk about Prasadam, and so I had to go see him for the past 2-3 years, every 6 months, blood work. But in each of these discussions, I would ask him, okay, how do we solve this issue? What do we do? And being a good doctor, he would always tell me, okay, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to lose weight. But I like prasad. I goes, I know it's a problem. It's nice to have a doctor that you can talk to like a devotee. But I liked this doctor because he would break it down and give me the same way. So Narada's guru is not going to, oh yes, you're so nice, huh? No. Guru means, all right, you asked me a question, now I'm going to give you the straight sauce. It's like my wife. If I ask her a question, she doesn't say, oh, Prabhuji, no. All right, this is your problem. You didn't do this, you do this, like this. Straight, very straight. I'm very grateful for that. Another lecture. Okay, we won't go there. All right, so Narada said, and just as Vyasadeva was thinking, yes, you have done all these Vedic literatures, but you failed to put Krishna in his proper place. Yes, you've mentioned Krishna in the Mahabharata, in the Puranas, Krishna is described. But basically, in Narada, because it's a long a chapter or more, 2 chapters, what Narada says to Vyasadeva. Goes, so one of the things is, what you have done is you have encouraged people to enjoy in the name of religion. And Narada says, verily, that's condemned. So now, your final masterpiece, you compile Srimad Bhagavatam and situate Krishna exactly how he should be, as the supreme. And that devotional service to Krishna is the actual religion, is the actual path. So in this way, Narada gave the clues to Vyasadeva how to compile Srimad Bhagavatam. And because of that, 18,000 shlokas, 335 chapters, 12 cantos, and of course, anyone who knows when you make certain kinds of cake or a cupcake, the cream is in the middle, right? The real. So the cream is deep within Bhagavatam, 10th canto. First 9 cantos, prep work. Little by little, the greatness of Krishna, the expanse of Krishna, what we mean by Krishna in so many different angles of vision. 9 cantos just to explain this one code word. Everybody say, Krishna. Krishna. That means I still got you. Good. Yes. Then in the 10th canto, Janma Karma Chame Divyam. Krishna's birth and activities are nicely described in 90 chapters. So the 10th canto is the biggest canto of the 12 cantos of Bhagavatam. And in that 10th canto, one chapter is Shiromani, the crown jewel. Tavakatamritam, prayers by the gopis. 19 verses, but when Lord Chaitanya, we're going to celebrate Ratha Yatra, beginning of next month, but it starts with Snani Yatra. So when Lord Chaitanya would celebrate Ratha Yatra, there's that one scene. Mahaprabhu has been chanting and dancing and performing miracles and changing bodily colors, and ecstatic symptoms are being expressed. And the time when the deities are fed on their carts, Balagandi, everybody comes to make their offering. There's a garden. So the chanters who have been, because there's 7 Sankirtan parties accompanying the Rath carts. And one of the miracles was Lord Chaitanya was dancing in each group at the same time. That's God, Lord Chaitanya. And King Prataparutra got to see it. Only a few devotees got to see it. Prataparutra, why? Because he swept the road. He was the king. He brought a golden broom, and before the Rath cart started, the king swept the road. And when Lord Chaitanya said that, aha, or as you say, acha, I will give him. So he got 3 special mercies. So one of them is he was seeing, oh my God, Lord Chaitanya is dancing in each of the parties, 7 simultaneous. So Lord Chaitanya is resting. He's exhausted from so much ecstasy. So Prataparudra was told, at that time you go. And don't go as a king. Look like a simple, humble devotee. No fancy clothes, no king, no. Simple dhoti wrapper. And you touch all the feet of the devotees that are resting. And you go to Chaitanya. And he will be in half conscious, half unconscious. He'll be in ecstasy. And you start to, Prabhupada used to have a servant. He used to use the word massage. Was he Australian or London? What was he? Australian, right? Anyway, he had a heavy British accent. So he would say, I'm going to give Prabhupada his massage. And Prabhupada loved his massage because he had strong hands. Prabhupada loved the strong, actually he would chastise. Come on, harder. And the disciples think, oh my God, I'm going to hurt him. No, Prabhupada wanted strong massage. So he liked that Harish Haridas because he had big, nice hands, strong hands, and he would massage. So the king, Prataparudra, is massaging Lord Chaitanya, and the king was told by Sarvabhauma, you recite this Gopi Gita at that time. So he did that. And as soon as he got to one verse, Tavakatamritam, Lord Chaitanya arose and said, oh, you are most munificent, you are most munificent. And he embraced the king because he was matching Lord Chaitanya's mood perfectly. And this is all the king ever wanted, was a private audience. He was refused time and time and time again. But on this day, he got what he wanted. And the Lord Chaitanya revealed to him some special opulences and told the king, do not speak of this to anyone. This is just between me and you. And then Lord Chaitanya went back to resting. The king left and his desires were fulfilled. All because he swept the road. So now that Rath Yatra time is coming, you will get an opportunity to do some service. Remember, if you get a service for Jagannath, Lord Chaitanya will bless you. So if you get even the littlest service, it doesn't matter, even insignificant, it's going to be a great boon for you, a great benediction. This, I've always said for years and years, the best time to visit this temple, Rath Yatra. That's when this temple is at its best. It's shining and sparkling and so nice. The atmosphere is just amazing. So lots of mercy during this Rath Yatra time. And those who are expert, they know how to get that nectar. And you get recharged for the whole year. As my friend Urjaswat, fired up, out of control. Okay, so Narada gave Vyasadeva the instructions how to compile Srimad Bhagavatam. But I see I'm out of time, and like you, I'm also hungry. So I think I could go on for another hour, but I believe in the philosophy, less is more. So let's end with nice chanting, and then Sharira Vijayal. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Beautiful. Wonderful. Do it again. Haribol. Louder. Yes. All glories to Rath Yatra, all glories to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all glories to Srila Vyasadeva, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, and all glories to you, because you are an excellent audience. Thank you very much. Class is dismissed. Take prasadam to your full satisfaction.
Nirantara Prabhu ki jai.